We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Lauren.
And today we're going to talk about episodes of The Archers up to and including the 28th of November, Tuesday the 28th. So today we cover subjects including
Alice being back on the dating scene,
the Gagricultural show,
Cauliflower Eclairs,
and Ted's funeral. Lauren, first of all, before we go any further, happy birthday for yesterday. Did you have a great day?
Thank you so much. I had a lovely day. We went to a local castle to us and had a little look around there, and they've done it all out like Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, so that was very exciting. And then we went for lunch in Marks and Spencer's cafe and then back home for a jacket potato party with my family. So very tired, very full, very happy. Lovely, lovely day. Thanks.
Sounds perfect. Well, what did you think of the week so far? What did you think about tonight's episode?
Oh, Tom, and he's so annoying.
I loved it. It was so annoying.
It was so awful, saying things like, "Oh, Emma, you need to wait a moment to appreciate the flavour profile of a cauliflower eclair. No, thank you." And then him daring to say, "I think it's the method rather than the ingredients." Oh, he was just... I mean, I don't normally get annoyed by him. I know he is an annoyance to other people, but I've never really found myself that annoyed by him. But oh my goodness me, tonight, very annoying. So telling Fallon she's too set in her ways, just everything that was coming out of his mouth, I was just like, no, thank you. How did you find him?
Yeah, I just loved tonight's episode. I was just laughing so much at the awfulness of it. From, you know, the sort of bitching session, first of all, with Emma and Fallon talking about Tom being outside. I love that. I love Linda and Jacob.
There he is.
Yes, I love Linda and Jacob, the Gagricultural show.
Yes. Utterly hilarious.
And the fact that Linda wants to perform in it, I was just like, yes, this is just golden. And how Linda thinks she's a farmer because she's got a veg patch and two llamas.
That blew my mind, actually, because Linda, to me, is very much a stickler for the rules. So for her to then try and be bending the rules, so in order for her to perform, I thought, come on, Linda, what are you at? But yeah, I loved it that she said, I've got it on good authority that I'm extremely funny, and then went on to explain a gag that she'd done. I mean, nothing's more hilarious, is it, than having a joke that you told to somebody else relayed to you and explained how funny it is. Like,
yes.
Not for me.
And then, as you say, Tom's ideas, this cauliflower eclair with pureed cauliflower and chocolate, and then to hear Emma's tasting of it, I just thought it was such a wonderful episode because it was so awful. And compared to yesterday's episode that I really didn't enjoy at all, I was very glad for tonight. Yeah.
When Emma said it tastes like someone's been sick in the choux pastry, I thought, oh, lovely.
Oh, it was just great. Laugh a minute. I just really enjoyed that. But I've got an idea for Jacob's comedy show.
Oh, tell me.
To call it Chortle in the Chapel. Actually, now I've said it out loud, I don't like it as much. It was funny when I thought about it.
I mean, it doesn't relate to the farmer side of things, does it? There's been a lot of like farmer puns, and I don't feel like I wouldn't say it's your best work, Philippa.
I think if we're listing faves and flops tonight, that's actually a major flop. In my head,
it was flop, is it?
My idea is now a flop, but honestly, but who do you think would be funny at doing this comedy night?
I love the way Jacob was like, I'm going to go and ask David and Stella, and I thought, well, neither of those I've thought hilarious straight away. I mean, I think it's going to be resting quite heavily on Sykesy, because
please no.
Oh, Ted's dead, so he can't do any of it, can he? So who is gonna do it?
That funeral was just so...
I know.
Painful. And did Alan kill Ted? Because literally the last thing Ted did was write a note to Alan saying he was stood on his oxygen. tube. So did Alan actually? That was the last thing he did, and then he died. So I think
I don't
Alan's...
know if I'm missing a trick with that, because I don't know if that's an actual joke that somebody else has said, because when we were listening to it in the car today, David said to me, he finished the joke before it had been said. So I don't know if I'm just completely out of touch. I mean, stand-up comedy is not really my bag anyway. But yeah, I don't know if I'd missed a trick, and maybe this is a really hilarious, famous joke that everyone knows. And I was just like, no, that's not. I didn't get it. I didn't see it coming, the joke. Nor did I find it funny.
Yeah, and like when he said about the bull charges, and everyone's like, and he said, "Oh, I've got all night, wait."
Come on.
Yes. Oh, that was just painful. I mean, it just wasn't funny. And I don't know if that was done deliberately so that tonight was funny. Just the relief of finding something actually funny. But I did.
Yeah.
Oh. Imagine being hauled in to record that scene, the funeral, and having to sit there and laugh. No.
Like monologue it, just to monologue all of those like bad jokes. Bad jokes.
Yeah. Okay.
Something else I found a bit odd about this week as well was Lillian and Justin. Did you find it was a very strange dynamic between the pair of them? That both of them were planning on dropping loads of money on this piece of land, and neither of them had mentioned it to each other. And then Lillian trying to manipulate Justin into not buying it for daft reasons. I just found that I've always found them quite, like, as a couple, very believable. I really believe that they fancy each other, and I really believe that they're like a good couple. And that just felt to me, I was like, what is going on with you two? What are you trying to do?
But
Did you find it weird?
I love Justin, though. I think he's a good baddie, if you know what I mean. He's not a bad baddie like Rob, R.I.P.
Yeah.
He's a good baddie. You can almost laugh at everything he does. I love his meddling. I love the self-belief that he has. I love when he said horses need hay, not a horse walker.
Yeah.
And Lillian spent £25,000 on a horse walker. What is that? Just a poll with a lead going round. You could...
Oh, goodness. I have no idea. But yeah, I thought that their interactions about what was needed for the horse spa and things like that were very funny. But yeah, I just found the whole thing between them. I was like, what are you talking about if you're not talking about these massive business investments that your businesses are planning on making? I just found it bizarre.
Yes, and just how Lillian finds money from somewhere to create this horse spa. I do have images of horses in shower caps and sort of having their nails painted. I just love it.
I hear the word spa and I think, oh yeah, no, I'd like to go to that. Even if there are horses there, I'll sit there having my hooves done.
Yeah, and I'm sure earlier on in the week, Alice had said, oh, it's going to cost, thousands. A horse spa, I mean, I don't know, but I imagine it's going to cost tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, big money.
Yes. I'm not sure that that's going to work, but if it means that Harry Chilcott stays around, then that's fine by me.
I'm quite into Harry Chilcott. He was one of my favourites, one of my faves this week, particularly his response to Alice not drinking. I really, really liked that. He just sort of just reacts by saying, sure, have some roast potatoes instead. And I'm well up for that. I don't drink myself. And I have had so many times when I've been at parties or events and they're like, why? Why don't you drink? And people want to know why you don't drink. And people want to call you boring and want to do this and da. So it was so refreshing to hear somebody just literally say, oh, sure, I've got you some more roast potatoes because I heard you really liked them. I like him. I think he seems nice, enthusiastic. He's happy not to play it cool. He's saying to her, I want to see you again. He was one of my faves this week.
And he bought a bowl of extra roast potatoes, as you say. I mean, that is a winner as far as I'm concerned. And he liked asking about Martha and looking at photos of Martha with various amounts of food all over her. I mean, that's an odd collection of photos to have, but never mind. Yeah, and I like the phrase Syndicate Sunday. I didn't even know I liked it till I heard all the food that they have on offer. Shall I go through my food list? Is this a good time?
Let's go food. Yeah, I felt it was a bit sparse in food at the beginning of the week, but tonight, whoa.
Oh, well, I thought Sunday night we had... Well, let me go through my list and see. I'm sure I've missed something.
Go through it.
So first of all, we had roast beef Yorkshire pudding canapes. I'm in for those.
Mm-hmm.
Bowls of extra roast potatoes, spaghetti bolognese on Martha, porridge on Martha, ice cream on Martha. Then tonight, yes, we had cheese biscuits, kale croissants, cauliflower eclairs, rested dough, empanadas, and sprout strudel. Just fantastic.
Just ending on a sprout strudel. Dave, my husband would quite like a sprout strudel. He loves Brussels sprouts and he loves pastry, so I can see him getting into that.
I love a Brussels sprout.
That's not one of the... I don't think that's one of the daftest ideas. I mean, kale croissants and cauliflower eclairs, insane. But I could see a nice sort of like bit of platted pastry with a few bits of chopped up sprout in there. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're sort of vegetarian, vegan, but for me, if there was some bacon, but if there was some bacon on there as well, then I'd be more just with the Brussels sprout. It might, I don't know, it could work, it might not.
Salty, offset it.
Yeah.
Bacon was also mentioned tonight. Bacon, you've missed bacon. It's when Linda was feeding Monty a bit of bacon. The lead up to the hilarious joke of a round of applause.
Yeah, but seeing how bad my idea was for the comedy night, I don't think I can say anything now. I haven't got a leg to stand on. What did you think about Natasha with Justin?
Well, I'm leaping ahead to my predictions now, but I think she's absolutely playing him.
Yeah,
you think?
Yes.
She knew what was going on, and she's ploughed him for the information. She's come at him with maybe a bit of a rubbish idea, and then just got an idea of what's going on, and now the real business will start. But yeah, I quite liked it. I quite liked hearing her say, "No, Justin, you've given me a brilliant idea. We're going to build a house. We've wanted to build a house. We'll build a house. That's a great idea. I quite liked it." Yeah. And
I imagine Natasha's idea of a house is a mansion. It's, you know, marble everywhere, fountain outside the house, circular driveway.
It feels mad to think they ever lived in that flat above the shop now, don't it? Doesn't it feel mad that they ever lived there?
I do wonder what her credit card bills are like these days. But anyway, we haven't heard.
No.
And I love some of Jakob's Christmas ideas for the Christmas event. The 12
also on my faves this week.
Yes, 12 Dogs of Christmas. I loved the idea of that. I thought that could be quite funny, actually, but never mind.
I was very into the Scandinavian translated gnome story. I thought I would sit through that. I would really sit through a translated Scandinavian Christmas gnome story. I thought it sounded really good.
So who do you think is going to do the open mic night? Who have we got in Ambridge who would be worth a laugh? I mean, obviously I've got to say Josh, because I am team Josh.
Yeah, I was going to say Josh or Pip.
Pip? Oh, gosh.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think you've had a lovely time celebrating your birthday, Lauren, and I'm not sure.
Josh,
Too much
definitely.
birthday cake.
Too much birthday cake. Josh, definitely. Obviously, we're relying very heavily on Sykesy. I can't see Stella or Adam.
Well, you never know.
I mean, none of them are screaming laughs at me. Like, I don't know. Yeah, where we're gonna get the laughs from.
No, I mean, having met Andrew now, we know he could pull it off. So we could have a funny Adam, but
Andrew.
Yes,
I'd go and watch him.
Yeah.
Now. Adam, maybe not so much.
What about Kenton? I mean, he's not really a farmer, but he'd be funny, I think.
I suppose it depends if Jakob's going to let him in. If he's letting Linda in, anyone can find a little bit of veg patch and talk about them being a farmer. Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know. And just changing the subject a bit, but just going back to Harry and Alice, do you think that this is going to be a long-term relationship?
I hope so. I like them together. I like him a lot, and I love getting new characters, particularly because I haven't been listening as long as many other people have. I feel like when new characters come in, I'm like, oh, I'm in on this as well. Like, this person is new to everyone. So, like, I like it when new characters come in and then stick around. So, I mean, obviously, I've got a vested interest in the actor who's playing Harry Chilcott because he's from Call the Midwife. So I'm very into that. But yeah, I feel like maybe Alice could do with a bit of love and excitement in her life. I think everything else seems to have settled down a bit. Maybe now is the time. We haven't heard from Chris for ages, have we?
No, I imagine he's quite busy, but it'd be nice to have him back on. But does that mean we'd hear Amy again? I don't know. It'd be nice to hear Alice. Really, yes, able to move on and enjoy her time with Harry.
Do you think this is a long-term love affair for the pair of them?
I don't know, because they often say when you've had such an intense relationship as she did have with Chris, you then have something sort of on the rebound. I know it's a long time, but you have a short relationship and then go into something. But I would love it if she and Harry do last, because it's lovely to hear, and there can be more syndicate Sundays, more roast potato.
I guess if it's just a little fling thing, then it seems pretty nice. Nice food, going out and watching horses, which she loves doing, talking about her daughter and things like that. It's a nice, comfy place to be, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, either way, I just wish the best for her.
My other question that I have for you is, why was the majority of yesterday's episode dedicated to someone that we haven't heard about until a couple of weeks ago, Ted? And I just didn't understand why there was so much airtime when there must be so many other cast members available. Was that written in at the last minute?
I have no idea. And I was thinking the only reason I picked up on Ted is because when we recorded the podcast, I think it was the three of us, me, you and Katie mentioned that Ted sounded like a bit of a laugh. And apart from that, I don't even think it would have registered with me. So it's only because Katie said that I would be like, who is this Ted? Like, I would have, it was a lot of time. And then I thought, is that because we're getting Sykesy brought back to us? That's something that I wasn't expecting to happen this week. I thought we'd maybe seen the end of him, especially after he offered Ben the money and that was a no, and that seemed like quite a final thing. So to then have Sykesy back, I was like, this is unusual. So unless this is a whole big thing to get Sykesy back in, but I couldn't work. You're right. Why was there such a long episode on someone who we've not heard a whisper from?
But you're right, that would be the way to get Sykesy back in for the event that's called the Gagricultural show. Yeah, actually, that's better than my idea.
With the word gag in it. God.
But maybe that is why.
Especially after the cauliflower eclairs.
But I don't want Sykesy to be in the Gagricultural show. I don't know why. I just
love that. I just don't want him to be in it. I don't know why. I just don't.
Well, he's not a farmer either, and he's not a resident of Ambridge, and I don't know.
Unless he's about to be, and that's why we're being gently eased into Sykesy.
Oh dear. Well, it comes to that
also,
time.
Also, how has he got the name Sykesy? Because his surname isn't Sykes, is it? Linda said Mr. Padraig, I thought she said, or something.
You're asking.
I always just assumed his surname was. Well, it was tonight, but I didn't. I just remember thinking, oh, so his surname isn't Sykes.
I'm sure we heard. I'm sure we heard when he came to visit Jill, and she'd baked him a nice cake, and Ruth was not happy that she'd had to take time away from the farm to sit with Sykesy for a bit when Ben brought him round. I'm sure we heard the origin of his name then, but I just.
Oh, okay.
He's not my favourite, so I didn't retain that information. But it's Archers, so I'll cope with it. But never mind. But let's get to predictions now. Lauren, what are your predictions?
Yes. Well, I mentioned earlier, I think Natasha's absolutely played Justin a fiddle, and this is gonna come back and bite him in the bum a bit, maybe, or she's just had a bit of a laugh at his expense. I think Tom and Natasha taking over the cafe. I just see disaster there. I don't see anything other. I'll be surprised if Fallon's still there by Christmas. Like it sounds as though it's going to be an absolute disaster. I mean, Fallon sort of set the ground a bit. She said, look, she showed off these delicious empanadas and everyone was excited about them, and that's sort of shown that she knows what she's talking about and listen. But Tom and Natasha aren't the biggest listeners, let's say. So yeah, I just see disaster on the horizon. What about your predictions?
Well, will we learn more about the water content of vegetables in future episodes?
Yeah.
That might be a thing. I just want Brian and Stella to win the land. It will serve the rest of them all right for all of this going on. Just let's have Brian and Stella get the land and actually do something businessy with it that might make some money. I think Emma will finish a taste test of the sprout strudel and have to dial 999. Those are my predictions there. But I don't know. But we need to say on Saturday there will be a special episode where we interview Joy Horville, the wonderful Jackie Lai who plays Joy. That episode will be ready for you on Saturday as audio and video. So that's very exciting. And we'll be back again next Tuesday. It'll be all four of us, I think, Laura, next Tuesday, won't it? Party time.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Excellent stuff. But until then, we'll be back on Saturday and we'll see you soon. So it's a bye-bye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
Bye-bye, everyone.